Hello, strangers. Thanks for tuning in to our Bonus Friday Fun super special Summerween episode. Today, we'll be presenting the stories we read during our 2025 Instagram Halloween Live in audio format. We hope you enjoy. Up first, we have The Offering, written by Bree.
There's something about the woods. This sentence can mean a lot of things on the surface, ranging from, there's something special about this particular patch of nature, to, this is a fucking creepy place. At the start of your expedition on the Appalachian Trail with your friends, your thoughts were squarely in the first camp. But as time has gone on, well, that's changed. Even your friends, who aren't quite as sensitive, can feel the shift, whether they're saying it out loud or not. The changes in their body language and expression give it all away.
Let's take this path. It'll be fun to explore something more remote.
Yeah, what a great idea. You and your 3 friends are now lost in the Appalachian Mountains in God knows where, West Virginia, without cell reception or any real idea of where you actually are. It's been several hours since the start of this adventure, and the sun is quickly making its way lower and lower in the sky. To make matters worse, you felt it for what seems like hours now. What exactly is it? You haven't the foggiest, and something deep inside your soul tells you that's probably for the best, even if curiosity pulls at you like an itch. Nope, let's ignore this thing for now, since you can't imagine acknowledging its presence is going to do anything helpful. So, you resist the urge to turn around and look as you feel it, continuing to tail your group, like a predatory animal stalking its next meal. It's not like there's much you could do anyways. If some ungodly creature is following you in the woods, then you're in its home. The surroundings lighten up as you step out of the densely wooded forest and into a large meadow. One of your friends, Ava, notices a tall outcropping in the near distance, so the group decides to head in that direction, hopeful the spot will provide a better vantage point for help, or even cell reception. Suddenly, you notice your friends have stopped moving. Things are getting even better. Lily, a little ahead of you, starts to turn around and look back towards your creepy new friend, so you intercept. Hey, why are we stopped? Lily takes a moment to bring her attention back to you. Yeah, she definitely feels it too. Lily just points ahead where you see Maggie and Ava staring into the tree line, frozen in place. As soon as you've joined them, you know exactly what the holdup is. A situation with bad vibes just got dialed up to a 10. Some sort of wooden altar sits in front of you, straddling the edge of the meadow and the tree line. It's definitely been used recently. The candles are out and the wax has dried. There are bowls of what you presume are offerings to someone or something, but you don't dare to walk any closer and inspect it. Your instincts are screaming at you now. You need to leave, but turning around puts you closer to that thing. You can still feel it, hanging back in the woods right outside your little clearing. While you've been distracted by the creepy AF altar to God only knows what, that thing in the woods, it's gotten closer. All the while, the sun continues to dip lower, casting golden light over the meadow. It would be beautiful if you weren't terrified out of your frickin' mind.
Should we go take a closer look and wait for the people who built it to come back? Maybe they can help lead us out of here.
Maggie asks, hoping they might help your little group get unlost. Without thinking, you jump in. Nope, that is not feeling like a great idea. But we definitely need to get out of here before it catches up to us. And there it is. You slipped up. You've acknowledged it. Everyone turns to you with a startled expression.
What thing?
But before you can answer, the sound of movement in the distance behind the altar grabs your attention. On instinct, you pull your friends behind a thick patch of bushes and wait. And you do not have long to wait, maybe a few minutes. 5 women carefully make their way toward the altar. Thankfully, everyone in your little group is too shocked to move or speak. As these strange women get closer, you notice exactly what they are carrying and begin to question if you finally either lost your sanity or if this is just some really messed up nightmare. Deer skulls, deerskins, fresh candles, a large ornate pitcher, and a large bowl. You also notice that all of these ladies are decked out in all types of protective charms and wearing a ton of iron. Once they make their way to the altar, You watch with morbid curiosity as they begin preparing the items. It looks like the liquid in the pitcher might be some sort of cream or milk. Are they making an offering to some sort of Appalachian fae creature? Lily is apparently thinking the same thing as you because she makes eye contact and then mouths the word fairy. And you shrug because her guess is as good as yours at this point. It's getting harder to see exactly what's going on as the light continues to dim, but now you can see the candles glowing. Then, just when you're thinking this can't get any more unbelievable, they start in on a song-like chant. You think it might be in Latin, but it's a little hard to make out at this distance. Whatever they're saying, it absolutely hums with an energy that you feel deep in your bones. And then it stops. Once again, the clearing is enveloped in an unnatural silence. Had the clearing been this silent when you first noticed the altar? You're not sure. The strange women begin to back away with their heads bent and hands raised in some odd mixture of fear and adoration. Something is coming. You can just feel it. That thing. It's been waiting in the woods this whole time. Just waiting. And then it clicks. That creature. It wasn't following you. It was coming here. You just also happened to be in its path. It's almost completely dark, and the mysterious women have vanished back into the dense woods. In your peripheral, you see Ava start to move, thinking it's over. Going as quickly and quietly as possible, you lean over, grab her arm, and shake your head. You can't move yet. Luckily, the message is received. Reality doesn't seem real anymore, and you really don't know what you believe as it enters the clearing, moving slowly. You pray to whomever or whatever might be listening that this creature either can't sense you, doesn't care, or is just too focused on what you presume is its altar. The creature, you don't really know how to describe it, is both terrifying and ethereal all at once in the dark meadow. It's humanoid and unnatural. No wonder they worship it. You feel as though you've laid eyes on something you are most certainly not supposed to perceive. It moves with grace, its iridescent skin and bright eyes reflecting in the candlelight. This being is tall, with flowing hair a color you can't quite name, and has what is either antlers or an antlered headdress. It's wearing clothing made of plants and animal hide. As it passes your location, you get the feeling that even if it does know you're there, you are too insignificant and not enough of a threat for it to even care. You watch transfixed as it takes the offered cream, drinks it, leaves something in the bowl in its place, and collects the offered deerskin and skull. After what feels like an eternity, the creature returns to the woods, and the night sounds of the meadow return. Maggie is the first to speak.
What the hell just happened? And what was that?
No one answers, but everyone looks terrified. So your group finally begins walking toward the outcropping because what else can you do? Exhausted and unnerved, you reach it after what seems like several more hours of hiking. By some miracle, you not only see a road, but what looks like a gas station in the near distance. With a new rush of energy, the group continues on, grateful to be heading toward humanity again. The first rays of morning are just barely lighting up the sky, and Maggie leads the way into the building, walking right up to the counter. The worker greets your friend and then looks absolutely startled. What he says next makes no sense at all. Your exhausted group of friends have been all over the local news after going missing 4 days ago. 4 days? But that's not possible. We were only lost for 1 night, Ava exclaims, and takes the worker's extended phone, looking at the article showing a picture of the 4 of you and the headline, 4 friends missing on the Appalachian Trail.
Next, we have You Are Lost, written by Christiana. Halloween night. Friday, October 31st, 2025. The Bohemian Rhapsody sing-along was not going well. I see a little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche, Scaramouche, and he goes to Fandango. Guys, those are not the lyrics. The car erupted into peals of laughter. In the driver's seat, Liv swiped a hand across her eyes, brushing away tears of laughter. Guys, seriously, you're gonna make me wreck the car. Rather than quelling the giggles, the comment made the cackling grow even more raucous. Hang on, the high note's coming up, Mila called from the back seat. I'm gonna hit it, just listen. The laughter slowly drew into choked-off snorts as Mila half sang along with the lyrics, slowly growing louder until the music grew to a fever pitch. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me. The unexpected pitchy shriek that came from the passenger seat had the other two in stitches all over again. Oh my god, Bryn, that was so bad, Liv wheezed. Beside her, in the passenger seat, Bryn was doubled over in hysterics. Nah, Liv, she totally got it, seriously. American Idol 2026, here she comes, Mila crowed from the back seat. As the song wound down, the three friends gasped through their chuckles, trying to catch their breath. How much longer until we reach the campground? Mila puffed. I feel like we've been driving forever. What, the sing-along not keeping you occupied anymore? Bryn smirked. She lifted the phone from the center console. GPS says we've got another hour. Mila groaned. I need a s'more. It's not a want, it's a necessity at this point. I'll just be glad to get off the road, Liv replied, rolling her shoulders and taking a sip of her energy drink. The darkness is hard on my eyes. Need one of us to take over for a bit? Bryn asked. Happy to take the wheel if you need. Nah, I can do another 60 minutes. If you could just keep navigating for me, that'd be great. Aye, aye, Captain. Bryn gave her a mock salute. Sounds like we need another sing-along, Mila chirped from the back seat, grin evident in her voice. It was enough to break the other two into giggles again. Underneath the chortling, Liv heard a slightly robotic, crackly noise. Wait, shush a sec, Liv said to the other girls. Was that the GPS, Bryn? I thought I heard it say something, but I couldn't tell for sure. Bryn looked down at the phone screen again. Huh, I don't think so. It still says go straight. She tapped around on the screen for a minute. Directions say you have a turn coming up in 2.5 miles, though. Wait, really? Asked Liv. I thought I remembered this last stretch of road being a straight shot to get to the campground. It's been a while since I've been here, though. She trailed off uncertainly. It's probably just rerouting us, Mila stated confidently. Maybe there's an accident and it's trying to get us around it. I guess. Liv was still uncertain. Trust in the almighty GPS, Bryn intoned sagely. It will direct you where to go. Mila snorted, and despite the doubt settling into her gut, Liv couldn't help but chuckle at her friend's dry tone. The robotic voice suddenly piped up again. In 1/4 mile, turn right. Liv glanced sideways at the phone cradled in Bryn's hands, the dim screen the brightest light inside the car. Turn right in 1/4 mile, but onto what road? She thought. Doesn't it normally give a road name? Ugh, I'm tired. I have to just be overthinking this. Man, that thing sounds staticky, Mila noted, rooting around in the cooler beside her for a soda. The signal out here must suck. We are in the mountains, Miles, Bryn said, glancing over her shoulder. Hey, grab me a water while you're in there, will you? Liv squinted through the windshield. In the illumination of the headlights, she saw a narrow road ahead, branching off to the right. The GPS spluttered again, the computerized voice sounding slightly garbled. Turn right on road. Okay, why does it keep sounding like that? Liv demanded, gripping the wheel as she took the sharp right turn. That's not normal. Sucky service, Mila repeated airily. Yeah, I know, but that shouldn't make the GPS voice sound all weird. Relax, Livy, soothed Mila. I'm sure it'll be okay. We'll get there. Says the one who got lost leaving her own hometown once, Bryn muttered, grinning. Hey! I thought we all agreed we'd never mention that again. Liv smiled tightly at their annex. Man, this road is twisty. She slowed a little to navigate the tight turns. Bryn, what's the map looking like? Like you need to take some breaths, Bryn answered. Seriously, Liv, it's all right. The GPS does sound weird, and no, that's not necessarily normal, but I downloaded the map of the area before we left. Even if the signal gets bad, we'll get there, I promise. Bryn smiled gently. The light from the phone screen illuminated her face, distorting her features into elongated shadows that contrasted sharply with her reassuring words. Still, Liv appreciated her friend's level-headedness. A slightly tense silence filled the car. Liv gripping the wheel a bit harder than strictly necessary, Bryn occasionally glancing down at the GPS, and Mila gazing out the window. Under the tires, the road started to grow rougher and more narrow, twisting dizzyingly between the trees. After a while, Liv broke the silence. Okay, I know you guys keep telling me to just relax, but this road really doesn't feel familiar. And is it just me, or is there a fog rolling in? The car hit a particularly harsh bump and jolted sharply. Mila's reply was hesitant. I didn't want to say anything, but it is starting to look pretty misty out there. Liv flicked on the car's high beams, but if anything, that just made the visibility worse as the light bounced off the minuscule water droplets hanging in the air. The car thumped over another uneven patch of pavement. Her heartbeat started to quicken. Yeah, don't like this. Really, really don't like this. As if to underline her anxiety, the GPS crackled to life again. You are lost. Bryn frowned, holding the phone up to her face. I didn't quite catch that, she muttered. But the map looks like it's still leading us to go straight— Ah! All three of the girls jumped as the phone let out a sudden sharp screech of static. Liv's heart launched into her throat, and her palms grew slick with sweat on the wheel. All three of the girls started talking at once. What the hell? So loud! That's it, we're turning around. You are lost. The voice that came out of the phone was cool, the lilt of the electronic voice clearer than any direction they'd received so far. Even though it came from the tiny phone speaker, the voice seemed to fill the car. The girls sat in stunned silence, hearing nothing but the sound of tires on the rough road. And then, starting low but building in volume, a high-pitched whine began to fill the space. Is that coming from the phone? Mila's voice came from the back seat, high-pitched and scared. It's coming from the engine, gasped Bryn, her normally unflappable visage stricken. The vehicle jerked. Liv, why did you hit the brakes so hard? I didn't! The car just— Once again, the car jolted, throwing the girls against their seatbelts. The whine built even higher, and then, without warning, the engine spluttered, cut out, and the car slid to a stop. Liv looked wildly around at her friends, heart flinging itself against her ribs. Are you guys okay?
You are lost.
Once again, the message echoed from the phone speaker, spiraling venomously through the car. Then, something slammed hard into the front of the car. Liv looked around wildly, expecting to see an animal. Just as suddenly, a hard thud came down on top of the vehicle, and the girls screamed again, ducking low to avoid the roof they were certain was going to cave in. As quickly as it all began, everything went still. Liv had clenched her eyes shut tight at the impacts against the car. She slowly opened them just in time to see the headlights flicker and die, plunging all three of the girls into darkness. The sound of harsh panting permeated through the black, then the click of a seatbelt and rustling as Mila unbuckled herself and pulled herself forward onto the center console. She gripped tight onto Bryn's arm. I can't be alone back there, she squeaked. Okay, Bryn gasped. Liv felt her clutch her wrist. Okay, we need to get out of here. Let's turn our phone flashlights on. At least it won't be so dark. Liv silently thanked her friend's composure in the face of terror. She released her death grip on the steering wheel and shakily reached down for her own phone, lighting up the flashlight. The other two were quick to follow. All right, continued Bryn, voice still shaking but stronger. Liv, will the engine turn over? Liv reached a trembling hand for the keys still in the car's ignition and turned them. Nothing happened. She took a deep breath. Okay, let me give it a second and try again, she said, voice a thin thread. The three sat in tense silence for a moment, then Liv tried the keys again. Nothing. Damn it! She gasped, slapping a hand on the steering wheel. I knew we shouldn't have come back down this road. I knew it didn't look familiar. Mila let out a blood-curdling scream. She jerked a finger past Liv's face to point at the driver's side window. Liv jerked around, then threw herself as far from the window as her seatbelt would allow. A face gazed at them through the glass, illuminated terrifyingly by the harsh white light of the phone flashlights. The skin was pale, eyes wide and staring. Blood gushed from a gash in its hairline, flowing nauseatingly over the left eyebrow. All three of the girls were screaming now, horrified, and then the face was gone, leaving nothing but blackness behind. The three drew as close together as they could. Bryn was wheezing. Mila was crying openly. Liv grabbed the two of them, desperate to hold on to something. What the hell was... The headlight suddenly flared to life, and there stood the figure again. The girls drew back with more choked-off screams. Liv felt tears form in her own eyes as she stared at the figure. A man, she distantly realized. Forehead bloody, arm hanging limply by his side, leg twisted into an odd angle at the knee. She felt her breath freeze in her lungs and her blood run cold as she locked eyes with the man, his eyes like unending pits.
You are lost.
Once again, the voice rang through the car, but now it sounded darker, gravelly, dangerous. The figure rushed at the front of the car as though to throw itself through the windshield. Liv heard Bryn's horrified yell beside her, felt Mila's arms tighten around her as she shrieked. She threw her own arms over her face, bracing for impact and shattering glass, and the world was plunged into blackness again. The headlights cut out, the figure vanished from view. Liv looked around wildly, bracing herself for the figure to reappear, to crash through the windshield, something. But nothing happened. Without thinking, she grabbed the keys and slammed them forward. The engine roared to life, the sound nearly lost in her yell of relief. The headlights flickered back to life, but no figure stood in their beam this time. Liv didn't think twice. Everybody, hold on! She flung the car into reverse so hard that Mila nearly toppled into Bryn's lap, swinging in a wide arc. When the car was facing the other direction, she jammed the gear shift into drive and shoved the accelerator to the floor, driving as fast as she could back up the winding road. She was terrified of a deer leaping out of the fog at her, or the car dying again, but she refused to slow down until she finally turned back onto the main road. After a while, Mila carefully pulled herself from the center console and into the back seat, buckling her seatbelt again. She broke the tense silence, her voice a throaty croak. Did that just happen? Liv let out a deep breath. Something happened, she replied, her own voice still trembling. What exactly? I don't know. I'm just glad we're out of there, Bryn muttered. And the car isn't making any weird noises anymore. Wonder what that weird sound coming from the engine was. I want to know what hit us, Liv said, shaking her head. I know I should probably get out and check for damage, but... She trailed off. Liv? Mila said quietly from the back seat. I swear, if you pull over and get out of this car, I will jump in the driver's seat and leave you behind. Liv couldn't help but let out a watery laugh, but it died away quickly. Let's just get to the campground. The car doesn't seem to be driving weird, and until it does, I'm not stopping. She glanced over at Bryn. I'm almost afraid to ask, but is the GPS still running? Bryn was staring down at the phone in her hands. She didn't answer. Bryn, you okay over there? Bryn finally looked at her. The GPS rerouted us, she breathed. We're back on track. But, guys... Her voice broke, and she cleared her throat. I zoomed out on the map, trying to find the road we were on. I wanted to see the name of it, and it doesn't exist. When I tried to find it, it's just not there. Silence. After a moment, Mila asked, "But if it's not there, then how did we—" "Nope." Liv quickly cut across her. "Nope, not going there. We're not going to ask that question. We're not going to speculate, and you know what? I say we forget this happened. All in favor?" "Aye." "Aye." Bryn and Mila quickly raised their hands in agreement. Liv puffed out a deep breath. "Okay, so who's ready for some fun Halloween camping?" The Daily Gazette. Article published November 5th, 1956. Man found severely injured on old logging road has passed. Gruesome scene considered hit and run. The young man found badly injured Halloween night on the old county logging road off of Pennsylvania Route 44 has passed, says a spokesperson at Trinity Memorial Hospital. The man was being treated for severe injuries caused by what police believe to be a hit-and-run collision with a vehicle. Police were shocked last Friday evening to discover the mangled body of a man on the logging road during a routine patrol. The man was discovered with gruesome injuries, including a deep gash in his forehead, multiple broken bones, and an array of cuts and bruises. He was immediately rushed to Trinity Memorial Hospital for treatment, where he remained until his passing last night. As of now, the deceased's identity remains unknown. We're taking steps to identify him and alert his next of kin and to try and find the person responsible for his death, stated the harried sheriff at nearby Haverstown Station. But we're working with limited information here. A hospital staff member also weighed in on the matter. We tried to identify him, but our first concern was treating all of his injuries. We're talking more than just bumps and bruises here. He was really beat up. With the injuries sustained, it's a miracle the police found him alive at all. At the scene where the man was found, police discovered a still-running vehicle pulled to the side of the road. While the police believe this was the victim's car, they also discovered the license plate had been removed from the vehicle, making it impossible to trace who the car belonged to. Officers were unable to locate the plates anywhere near the scene, leading them to believe they were forcibly removed and stolen by the other driver. Along with the stolen plates, officers found tire tracks and broken glass around the collision site. The case is now being treated as a homicide. To this point, no one has come forward with any information relating to the crime or with a confession. As to what the man, or for that matter, another vehicle, was doing on the old logging road late last night in the first place, the same hospital staff member spoke again. "He did manage to regain consciousness a few times before he passed," she said. "But we couldn't get much out of him. He was delirious a lot of the time. He just kept repeating, 'took a wrong turn,' and 'lost.' My guess is he took a wrong turn onto the logging road, got out of his car to try and get his bearings, and, well, you know what happened. It's a mystery. That road hasn't been actively in use for years, and it's in complete disrepair," stated an officer who had been at the scene. "Just driving up and down for our patrols is harrowing. I have no idea what anyone would be doing out there. Probably someone out for a joyride. All I know is the poor guy lost his life getting hit with a vehicle, and the driver needs to come forward to face justice. The logging road is slated to be permanently closed and demolished within the next month." Thanks for joining us, strangers, and have a fun Summerween. And don't forget to tune on in Fridays for more Something Strange.